It had been a rough few months. Jenna and I had been married for 7 years, and like any couple, we'd had our share of ups and downs. I believe we were solid. I worked hard, brought in a decent income, and always made an effort to keep her happy. I wasn't perfect, but I loved her deeply. I thought that meant something. But slowly, almost imperceptibly, something in her began to shift. She started coming home later and later, brushing off my questions with vague excuses about deadlines and work dinners. Her phone became a permanent extension of her hand, always locked, always turned face down, and she grew distant, colder, like the warmth we once shared had been quietly extinguished. One evening, while her phone was charging on the nightstand and she was in the shower, a notification flashed across the screen. It was from someone saved under the name Monica, but the message itself, anything but platonic. I stared at it, heart pounding, unsure if I should cross that line. But dread was already tightening around my chest like a vice. I opened the thread. What I found gutted me. The messages were intimate, filled with flirtation, emojis, late-night secrets, and rendezvous that weren't even trying to be hidden. I scrolled back, and eventually I saw a name. Not Monica. Derek. Derek was an old co-worker of hers, someone she had once casually mentioned in passing, someone she swore wasn't her type. Apparently, her tastes had changed. The messages painted the full picture. They'd been seeing each other for months. Hotels, his place, during work hours, even once in our own home while I was away on a business trip. Our bed. I didn't confront her. Not yet. My pain didn't erupt. It solidified. I knew I needed more than just gut feelings and screenshots. I needed evidence. I began documenting everything. Photos of messages, call logs, calendar entries. I used our shared phone plan to track her location and confirm what I already feared. The truth was unbearable, but I stayed calm, composed. I didn't let a flicker of suspicion show. I smiled. I played the part. I brought her breakfast in bed, offered to run errands, showered her with kindness, not to win her back, but to give myself time to plan. She had no idea. Behind the scenes, I contacted a lawyer. I quietly reviewed our prenuptial agreement, one I had almost forgotten about. And there it was, the fidelity clause. If she was unfaithful, she forfeited any claim to alimony or to the house, which I had paid for in full. That clause became my lifeline. My lawyer urged me to keep collecting proof, to build a case so airtight she couldn't slither her way out with excuses or tears. So I did. Every step of her deception, I tracked. Every move, I watched. The night I put my plan into motion, she told me she was going out with her friend Lisa. A girls' night. I smiled and wished her fun, knowing full well it was another lie. I had installed a GPS tracker under her car and hidden a camera in our bedroom. That night, I watched from my laptop as she picked up Derek, brought him back to our house, and once again desecrated the space we had once called home. I watched them laugh. I watched them undress. I recorded every last second. The next morning, I left early, pretending to go to work as usual. But instead of heading to the office, I walked into my lawyer's firm with everything. We filed the divorce papers, and by the following afternoon, they were served directly to her while she was still at Derek's place. But I didn't stop there. I hired a professional service to pack every last one of her belongings and deliver them to her mother's house. When she finally returned, she was met with an empty closet, a new security code on the door, and silence. But the final stroke came in a small envelope I mailed directly to Derek. Inside was a copy of the court papers and a note written in clean, bold type. Asterisk, you can keep her. She comes with no house, no money, and no conscience. Asterisk. His response came quickly. A pathetic apology, trying to claim he didn't know she was married. But he absolutely did. I'd seen the texts, the jokes at my expense, the way they talked about sneaking around. They both knew, and they both gambled that I'd never find out. Or worse, that if I did, I wouldn't do anything about it. Jenna called me, over and over, first sobbing, then begging, then furious. I ignored every call, every voicemail, every message. I gave her exactly what she gave me. Silence. No explanation. No second chance. Just absence. Then I posted a single sentence on Facebook. Sometimes losing a liar is the biggest win. Our mutual friends figured it out almost immediately. Word spread like wildfire. Her perfect little image unraveled fast. The humiliation hit her hard. 6 months have passed. Jenna now lives alone in a small apartment and works part-time as a waitress. The life she had, the comfort, the home, the security, is gone. And Derek? He ghosted her 2 weeks after the papers were served. Turns out he was only chasing a thrill. He never wanted the consequences. As for me, I'm doing better. I've started dating again, slowly, carefully. Trust will take time, but I'm healing. Jenna broke something in me, something sacred, but she also awakened something stronger. I didn't scream. I didn't crumble. I didn't lose control. I simply walked away, with my dignity, my peace, and my future intact. Revenge doesn't always have to be loud. Sometimes the quiet kind, the one served with poise and precision, speaks volumes. I didn't ruin her. I just let her ruin herself. And in the end, that was the most satisfying justice of all.